What is up, guys? I am, hold on, I'm adjusting everything. I'm gonna do a little story time. Well, for starters, I am going to deeply apologize for the other day. I did not mean for my video to cut out, and I never came back on to apologize. I continued to stay on FaceTime with Tori. That's why I never answered. She called me out of the blue, and I answered to see what she was calling for, and we got into conversation, and I just never called you guys back, or came back on to explain to you guys that, she had called, and that's why the video stopped. Besides the point, I'm gonna do a little story time today. As a lot of my viewers know, at least my friends that are my viewers know, that I'm going through a really hard time right now. I quit my job the other day because there was just a lot of pressure of what they were expecting from me, and they basically implied that they wanted it to be taken care of by the end of the week. Now, may I remind you, Tuesday I had taken the time after the phone call I received to just think on it, see if it's something that I really wanted to continue doing as a job. Listen, I have always loved being a teacher for the last 2.5 years. I've been a teacher since 2021, and actually the end of 2021. And I enjoyed it. I really, really did. It was not something that I wanted to make a career, but it was just something that I loved doing, especially when I got into being with the school agers. When I would be in with the school agers, whether it was just me or if it was me with another teacher, if there was a student that was just having a really bad day and was struggling with some things, I would always be the one to take up on the opportunity to go up to the kid and be like, listen, I know what's going, I know there's a lot going on, and I'm here if you need to talk. Like, some of the kids that I dealt with in Pottstown KinderCare had ADHD, and the one kid I really, really got along with, he had ADHD just like me, and he would have random outbursts, and when somebody would push him or get in his face, he would push back and do the same. And I've been there, done that. I've been there, done that with family. I've been there, done that with friends. I have never been there, done that with a partner. And that's just because, out of respect for my partner, I refuse to lay hands on any of my partners that I've ever been with. Especially since I am into females, and my last 3 girlfriends have put me through the ringer, but my most recent one is the only one that I have actually sat there and fought to be with. I am so sorry. My light is getting ready to die, so it's not as bright as it should be. I don't know why, but it was really bright earlier. It might need to be charged. But anywho, I've been through relationships where I've been mentally abused, I've been physically abused, and I've been emotionally abused too. My ex from high school, actually, to be completely honest, was the most abusive partner I've ever had. Even during a breakup, she was abusive, and till this day, I still don't know why I never swung back, but we'll get to that. So me being the way I am, I always classify myself, even though I am female. Hold on, I have to sneeze. Ow. I gotten into a breakup with my ex from high school, and there was one day that me and one of my friends, we were just tossing my football back and forth, and the football had went too far back, and it had went back where she was standing. Well, I walked up to grab the football, and then I tried walking away. Well, she wouldn't let me walk away. She literally took every ounce of her being, and she literally slapped me across the face. I've never been in a relationship, even with a guy, that has put me through something like that. She slapped me across the face, and I just stood there in shock and didn't know what to do. My mouth dropped to the ground. Like, I had no clue that was coming. I'd never seen that a day in my life. I've never dealt with that a day in my life of dating. Like, I've dated plenty of people before her, and never did a guy even emotionally or physically hit me. Everybody that was around me at that time had just looked at me and was like, why the fuck did you just let her do that and not hit her back? And I looked at him and I'm like, well, one, I was in shock. So, like, me being in so much shock, I never physically, like, I couldn't physically move. Like, I was in so much shock. Like, even after she walked away and ran to her bus because one of my friends went after her, I never physically could move to the point where, like, I didn't even turn around to look back at her like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't bring myself to do it. It really, like, stunned me, and it shocked me to the point where I'm like, what the hell did I do to deserve that? In front of everybody that we were friends with. And, of course, my friends were friends with her, and, yeah, it was a whole thing. I've also dealt with emotional attacks. Like, I've been emotionally attacked to the point where, like, people always put the blame on me. I was the one who hurt them. I was the one that did this. I was the one that did that. I was never and it was the same way in my friendships. Like, I was always the one that did my friends wrong or my partner wrong. I was never the one that was to victim to them. Through every single one of my friendships and breakups with a partner, I never physically was ever the victim. To me, I was, because I was raised to be the most loving, caring, respectful person that you could ever be in a relationship. And the reason, and my camera just died, or not my camera, my light just died. I have watched my parents go through a divorce, and that was at 5 years old. I had to sit there and be the one that, while my brother was packing, my mom one day sat on the couch in the living room and was crying and was upset and stuff like that. So what did I do? As a 5-year-old, I took it upon myself to sit down next to my mom and comfort her. And I gave her a hug, put my hand on her back, and I was there for her as much as I possibly could be. And it was a struggle. And as years went on, things got harder. Because in the back of my head, sometimes I just wished that my mom and dad would have gotten back together, and it would have put the family back where it needed to be, and things just would have been normal again, and how they should have been from the start. I'm not going to go into detail why my parents got divorced. It's not something that I'm going to put out for the entire world to see, since I'm doing this live on YouTube. But going through that at such a young age, and being nurturing and caring to my mom at such a young age, not understanding what was going on, was incredibly brave of me. Me and my brother had it worse than most people did, and having it so hard at such a young age is hard on a kid and can put them in a mental state of mind where they want to try and be the best that they can be in their relationships, whether it's with friends or family or even relationships with a significant other. Me and my brother have always struggled with our relationships, and I don't know if it's because of what we witnessed our parents go through or what, but it's definitely not something that's easy to go through as young as me and my brother were. As I got older, I started dating, I started going through hardships with my friends, I started going through breakups, and so on and so forth. I've been through numerous heartbreaks, and it's killing me till this day that I've been through so many heartbreaks, and I'm 26 years old, and I still can't find the one that is going to cherish every moment with me. And I didn't come on here necessarily to talk about just relationships. It also goes by, like, all the friends that I've lost over the years since high school. And I'm going to go based off of high school, because middle school, that shit's going to happen. You're going to distance yourself from your friends that you had in middle school, elementary. Those are just beginning friendships. Those aren't friendships that you think would last you forever. Now, I have one friend that I have known since the day I started at Votech and Wilson. Me and her have been friends for a little over 11 years now, going on 12, I think. Me and her have known each other since my 10th grade year and her freshman year. Her freshman year, she came in to Votech, and she was in the same class as me. And some of my other friends from Votech that were in there with me that I was also really close with, that I kind of lost touch with after they graduated. Me and her clicked instantly. We welcomed her to the class, tried to help her make her feel comfortable and not be singled out, per se. I've been in those situations where, like, you walk in a classroom and you instantly feel singled out because you don't have any friends in that class. It's not easy. I was like that the day that I started. The day that I started Votech, I never thought that I would have walked out of there with as many friends as I did. I got close with a lot of my friends that were in the same class as me, and it made me feel like life was finally changing for me and it was gonna go in a better direction and that I would actually get somewhere in life and not have to worry about losing friends or feeling singled out, stuff like that. And I'm only doing this because I'm going through that right now. I am going through a situation right now where me and my one friend are fighting over the stupidest shit. I'm not even gonna lie, it's over stupid fucking shit. And it's always over stupid shit. And I mean, usually we have the most bipolar friendship where one minute we're mad at each other, the next we're perfectly fine. We'll also have our moments where we fight for a good solid month and a half to 2 months or even a couple of weeks, and we'll be perfectly fine after we both just have our space and our distance and shit like that. And we try to get our relationship and our friendship back on track and try to change the things that we have done to make that worse and difficult for us. We sit there all the time and promise each other we'll never leave. We've walked away from each other too many times to do it again, and hopefully the new year brings a good year for us. And I've sat there with that in the back of my head because I had shared something with her on TikTok, and she'd promised me that I'm so sorry if I get emotional. I'm dealing with a lot. Like, it hasn't been easy. And when I shared this with her, she had come back with the comment of 2024 was going to be our year to make things right and stay by each other's side. And not even weeks later, things changed and it just got really difficult. And now all I can do is sit here and think, like, me and her are the ones that usually can sit there, go through a fight and an argument, and then give each other a little bit of space and a few hours to just calm down and do our own thing, and then we'll come back to it at a later time and talk it out and get through it. And this feels like one of those times where I don't think that's going to happen. And it's killing me because I finally got my bond that I've been wanting back with her back, and things just got really tough. And with everything that's going on with me personally, with my job situation, and losing Chase and Huey, and stuff like that has just been really, really hard on me. I try my hardest not to ponder on the things that bring me pain, and it's just so hard not to when it comes down to this. Like, she has no clue how badly I would take a bullet for her. She's that one friend outside of high school that I met 3 years ago. And would take a bullet for. She is my one ride or die friend. I would rather do all the dumb shit that I do with her and find somebody else to do it with. The dumb shit that we do is where a lot of the memories come from, where a lot of the good times have come from. You know, and I know some of the shit we do is slightly illegal, but it's fun, and it's risky, and I love being a risk taker, and she's the only one that I'd want to do any of that with. And I'm not going to go into detail with what, because, like, you never know who could come across this video, so. But, like, some of the dumb shit we do together is just exhilarating. It's fun. And sometimes it can be stress relieving. Not gonna lie. You know, and she's the one friend that I have asked to teach me how to drive manual. And I know at some point Tori will see this, and she'll probably, if lucky enough, she'll go on and she'll watch this live, and I could only hope and pray that Amber's around when she does. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, in the recent months, since summer had ended, I have never been so hurt over losing a friend recently, because I've just thrown up my I don't give a fuck attitude and stuck to my tattoo for the longest time. Now, if nobody knows what I mean when I say that, I have a tattoo on my bicep that says "Let Them." Now, I got this last year. Yeah, I think it was last year. I got this last year. Sometime around this time. I know it was winter. I know that. Something like that. Yeah. It was something like that. I had gotten this last year while we were all fighting. And, I got it because of that. They want to walk out of my life, let them. That was why I got it. And I haven't been living by it. I really haven't. Sometimes I forget that I have it. I really do. Especially when I'm wearing a long sleeve. There's just times I forget I have it. And, or even, for instance, like taking pictures, there's times I forget I have it. And I'm like, oh, I got a tattoo on my bicep. It's not easy to live by a tattoo. When you really want to, it's still not easy. Sometimes you gotta have friends or family remind you, why'd you get that tattoo if you're not gonna live by it? I got it thinking it would help, but sometimes I don't think it will. Because I have such a huge heart that I am the person that will sit there and will give you numerous chances to change and to fix what you've done wrong in the friendship or the relationship. And I have fallen back into a black hole. I have fallen back into this dark hole that I just can't get out of. You know, I've been in my head. I've had thoughts in my head that I shouldn't have. Now, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've been thinking about killing myself, because I haven't. And I would most certainly not want to harm anybody else either. I have felt like this for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. And I just don't know how I can fix it without me coming off as an asshole or rude or controlling or... I mean, Tori told me to just give it time, and I'm like... It's hard because all I can think about is wanting my best friend back. And I came on here to explain to my viewers, and even possibly Tori coming on here eventually and seeing this, hopefully in front of her, will help give me the benefit of the doubt. But I wanted to use my time to come on here and explain why I am the way I am. So, a lot of people say that I come off controlling and clingy and that I rush into things and stuff like that. I don't do that on purpose. I don't try to seem controlling. I don't try to come off clingy. And I don't try to rush things. Now, the reason why I won't rush into anything serious is because I've been there, done that with my ex. My ex that I had before Tori, brutally fucked me over, really bad. To the point where me and her were only dating for 2 or 3 months. And may I remind you, me and her had also started dating too soon. Me and her had started dating within like 3 weeks of us meeting. And it might have been a little too soon. We didn't really get the chance to sit down and actually get to know each other before we decided to tie the knot and say, let's start dating. We made it official. A few months went by, and her family was against us being together because of our gender being the same and our sexuality going against their religional reasons. They were Catholic. Ooh, sorry, Ellie. They were Catholic, and when I say Catholic, I mean like down to the core Catholic. It ruined the relationship. It took away from her relationships with her family, and she got tired of it, and she sat there and she's like, you know what, I can't do this. I'm my own person. I want to move out. So 3 months came around, and she finally said fuck it, and she started spending every night here. She eventually moved in. And she was living here from, well, we started dating in May. She moved in here 3 months later, so that would have been like the beginning of summer, something like that. I want to say like, I don't know, it might have been 2 months when she moved in. It might have been the beginning of June, something like that, yeah. Sounds about right. She moved in maybe a month or two after we started dating, and she would be my ride to work, stuff like that. So my aunt really didn't mind it because it was helping her out with not having to get up early and take me to work, which is why my aunt had no issues with her living here, was because it gave my aunt the time to sleep in and then get up and do what she needed to do for the day. It gave my aunt a break, per se. I ended up starting to work at this dog kennel out in Schwenksville, and she'd get up, she'd take me to work, and then she'd go to work. And then, since she was at work still when I got off, since it was such a short shift, I would still manageably find either a ride home for my aunt, or when I started working there, another person started working there as well, and we like hit it off like that. We clicked, our like energies matched instantly. We got close, we became friends, really good friends at that, and she started becoming my ride home occasionally, here and there after work on the days that she worked. We would have some great times at work, some great times on the way home from work. There was times that if it was a week we got paid, we'd stop at Chick-fil-A, and we'd even have a Chick-fil-A date. It was nice, and I love those days. Those days are amazing. And we still do them sometimes. That was the first job that I actually had that I made such great friends with somebody that I worked with, and we actually started hanging out outside of work as well. And it was nice. It was really nice. But I moved in with a significant other way too fast before, and I don't want to do that again. I don't like rushing it. I got fucking mentally, physically, and emotionally screwed over the last time I did that, to the point where I don't want to do that again. But I am the way I am because of my past relationships. I have trust issues, and I will always have trust issues. And that's not going to change until my partner, and even my friends for that matter, sit down and actually tell me what is going on in their head and why they are bothered by something I'm doing. If they're bothered by something I'm doing, they need to physically come to me. Not run and seek someone else's attention and complain about me to somebody else, especially if it's another friend of mine. Or even, at that point, ours. Like, if you're running to another friend that we both are friends with, complaining about me and saying this and saying that, it makes it harder, because that is why I have trust issues. because nobody that I date or that I'm friends with can sit down with me and be honest with me and have a adult conversation with me. I have always been that friend that is willing to sit down and have a mature adult conversation and fix the problem rather than running from it. I don't like running from my problems, and when I do, there's something wrong. If I run from my problems, it's because I'm scared of the outcome of trying to fix that problem. When I try to fix a friendship or a relationship, I do it because I have a huge heart, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of back and forth for me to actually sit there and be able to stand up for myself and explain to them what is going on and why I am the way I am. My childhood on up has made it very hard for me to have trust, because the things I have experienced as a 5-year-old and on up have traumatized me. My parents splitting up traumatized me. Me losing friends in high school had traumatized me. Losing people I had cared about for so long and had tried so hard to keep in my life traumatized me. And I started to grow up, and I started to get that state of mind of like, you know what, if I'm not worth their time anymore, I'm just going to walk away, because why fight to have somebody in my life that can't fight for me to stay in their life? And it's a struggle, because I'm getting to that state of mind where, like, am I worth fighting for in a relationship or a friendship? And I know sometimes it can be hard, and I know sometimes some people just don't know how to express their feelings, and I get that. Sometimes I don't know how to express my feelings either. And when I do express my feelings, sometimes I come off a little asshole-ish and rude. But that's because I was raised to fight my battles, and I was also raised to fight for what I really think is best for me. I don't like the ideas of losing friends. If you're going to come into somebody's life and be their friend for 2, maybe 3 years, even 4 years at that, and then you're going to dip out because you don't like what they do, you don't like how they act, you don't like this, you don't like that, that is not a real friend. If you can't be that ride or die friend for that person that you say you want to be best friends with and you say you care about, then how are they supposed to trust that anytime that you say that you promise you'll never walk out on them again and you'll never walk away from the friendship? How are they supposed to trust you? How are they supposed to sit there and believe that you're never going to walk out on them again? Most people that have friendships with somebody, they want a friendship with somebody that friend sits there and comforts them and supports them and tries to help them succeed at having a better life. And somebody like me, I like I told my boss, I am the type of person, since the day I was in high school, since the day I started being an IEP in school, I have always been that person that needs that reassurance, that help, that constant one-on-one time to sit down and just have a serious conversation. And have that friendship that is going to help me better myself, is going to help me succeed in life and not fail. And sometimes I see a pattern where I only fail at life when I lose my friends or I lose somebody that I'm dating, because I get so caught up in being in my head and overthinking shit that I start to lose focus of what I'm really actually going after and what is really important to me. Losing somebody that I really care about and have always cared about, even through our really bad fucking fights, I've never stopped caring. I've always been that person that will try to do my own thing and try and focus on myself, but sometimes it just gets really, really hard for me to do that. Sometimes it just gets really hard for me to focus on myself when I would rather put my friends and my girlfriend's feelings before my own. And sometimes that can be something that is really important to me. And just losing somebody I care about, it kills me. It hurts. And it makes my life harder because I'm starting to run out of people who actually care about me. And I hate that I self-sabotage my friendships and my relationships, and I can't stand it. It's just, I've been cheated on, I've been lied to, I've been used. I've been physically, mentally, and emotionally abused. And I know I can be a lot. And I know I can act like a fucking 2-year-old sometimes. But that's who I am. And I shouldn't have to change for anybody. I shouldn't have to change who I am to keep a friendship or to keep a relationship. Yeah, I can change what I put first. I can change that by people, I can put them first, but when it comes to having a job, I need to start putting my job first. And then they come second to that, because my job is more important than a relationship with a friend or a partner. But in the same sense, I really care about my friendship with Amber, and I always will. And I will do whatever it takes to fight for my friendship with her. And to have a friend like me that is willing to fight for that friendship, to fight to have you in their life, shows that they never talked badly about you, shows that they never walked out on you when you were struggling, shows they actually do care. And I just hate that I'm such an easy target for people to blame for their mistakes and blame for their problems with somebody. Like, I hate when I hear that people are talking shit behind my back, saying I'm saying this and saying that, and which I don't understand how that's possible, because like that just happened yesterday, where I was told by Amber that so many people were telling her that I was talking shit about her and that I was saying this and that I was saying that, and I'm like, I haven't really talked to anybody. Like, I could go through my entire list of people I have talked to. I've talked to a matter of 4 people. My best friend from high school, Tori. Dillion, and Kate. Only ones I've talked to. That's it. Like, and not one word came out of my mouth about somebody that I was friends with. Like, I never talked shit about anybody. Yeah, I'm gonna sit there if somebody asks what's wrong and what's going on. Of course I'm gonna answer them and I'm gonna tell them, like, me and this person are fighting and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm gonna have friends that are gonna ask me, and I'm gonna go to them and I'm gonna vent. I'm gonna vent to them and I'm gonna explain the situation so they're up to date with everything and know for future reference that if I'm in the same mood, that's why. Like, anytime I've talked to them, if they've asked what was wrong or why I looked irritated or why I looked annoyed or why I looked upset, I have only ever just read the messages that was sent between me and that person. Never talked shit. Never said that they were a bad friend. Never said that they were a bad person. Most certainly never said anything about them being with their ex or trying to get back with their ex. Like, all I want is for people to understand where I'm coming from sometimes. To understand that I don't mean half the shit that I do. I don't try to be immature. I don't try to be irresponsible. I try my hardest to be responsible. I really do. Like, when I started my new job and started working back at KinderCare, but the one right up the street from the house, I told myself that I was going to start using that time of me getting paid to pay my bills, not be in debt, not be behind on bills, including my phone bill. I have struggled a lot, immensely struggled, and sometimes I just don't know how to get myself out of a struggle. Like, I told myself that when I got this, that when I got paid, I was going to start putting money in it, and I was going to try and start saving money. Now, the last argument me and Amber got into, I had told her that the whole reason why I got this. Now, I got this. Now, I have access to this. It doesn't have a key that I can give to somebody, so I don't try and take money out of it. It's just got a snap button. So, like, there's no such thing as this sitting on my bed or sitting on my desk or sitting on my Xbox is going to keep my focus from being tempted to take the money out of it. The only time I would take money out of it, honestly, is to pay a bill. If I was behind on something or was a little short on something. I wanted to save $1,000 starting the beginning of this month. Now I gotta start the beginning of next month because I don't have a job now. And I only got one more paycheck before I don't have any money at all. Which is gonna suck. It hurts. It really does. But I wanted to start taking this. And I wanted to try and save $1,000 before summer. I was going to try and save before summer. But it kind of didn't work. Because on the little thing that it gives you, there is little stickers. And some of them are coming off because they have accidentally gotten wet. There is a long strip of stickers that go on this part of the book after each time you put money away. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, If I would spend 25 weeks putting $40 every paycheck in this booklet, I would have money saved up. That's 25 weeks. So 25 weeks from now would probably be maybe about beginning of spring, something like that. Yeah. So 10 weeks plus 10 weeks plus another 5 weeks. It's actually technically, yeah, it's exactly that. If I could spend that 25 weeks putting $40 every time in this, I was gonna make myself, like, hi Amanda, forgot that you followed me on YouTube. Anywho, I vowed to myself that instead of leaving this book, sit here at home where I have all the temptation possible. Sorry, Ellie's leaning on the laptop where my phone's propped up on. That I was going to stick this in Amber's car. I was going to stick it in Amber's car. I was going to stick it in her not glove box. I was going to stick it in her center console, and I was going to leave it there. And every time I got paid, I was going to take $40 out every time me and her hung out, and I was going to stick it in here every single time. That way, if I needed money as a backup for a bill or anything, all I'd have to do was call her up and be like, hey, swing by after school and drop off the $40 I needed to catch up on a bill. I can't do that right now, so now I gotta start at the beginning of January. Hopefully I have a job again by then, so it doesn't get pushed back even further, because I really want to save $1,000 before summer. Because even though I might be getting my settlement, I don't want to rely on just my settlement. Because even after I save $1,000 by summer, I still want to continue to save $1,000 every time I possibly can. Every chance I have. I bought this book hoping that it would give me better money management and that it wouldn't take as long for me to struggle with saving money. I'd be able to take small increments out every paycheck and not have to worry about splitting my check in half and being left with, say, $150 to last me 2 weeks until I get paid again. I really want to start filling this book in starting the 1st of next month. I feel like if I can do this, I feel like seeing this whole book filled with $1,000 will benefit me a lot and will give me that hope that I can do it. I can, just with a little bit of help. And I know I can. I just know that I need the help and the commitment to not touch it, because that is always the struggle, is the temptation to touch the money. Now, usually, the reason why I try to either give it to somebody or put it in my piggy bank or something is because out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind is always best, because when it's out of your sight and it's out of your touch, you're going to forget about it. You're not going to realize, oh, I got money that I can spend on stuff I don't need, whether it's clothing or shoes or a hat or going out to eat. I mean, yeah, I still like to spend money to go out to eat, because sometimes it's just, like, sometimes me and Tori will plan date nights that we just even, heck, since we can't drive, we plan date nights and we walk up to Michael's and we go out to dinner. Just a little cheap date night, get out of the house for an hour or so, and spend time together outside of the house. That doesn't require us just sitting on our phones or watching TV and playing video games and twiddling our thumbs on our phones and stuff like that, like, or sleeping all day. The one person that I thought supported me walked away from me again. And I need somebody like her in my life. She has always been there for me through everything. She's been there through all my breakups, all my losses of friends. The bond I had with her was a bond I never wanted to lose. And I hope at some point she sees this, and I hope at some point she'll have the courage to message me and want to talk it out with me. And usually when I talk about her, it's not because I want to talk shit. It's not me talking shit. It's more of me just saying how I feel about the situation. Like, I don't like when people sit there and disrespect me and treat me like shit. It's just not who I am, and it's not who I want to be. I want to be a problem solver rather than somebody who sits there depressed out of their mind like I am right now. And overthinks and puts in their head that nobody cares about them. And I'm just tired of being an easy target for people to bully and talk shit on. And I'm tired of people making me out to be a horrible person. Because it's not fair to me. I shouldn't have to be that person that has a target on their back that somebody can easily attack. It's just not fair. I am the way I am because of my lifestyle that I grew up in, and each and every day I try to get better. I try to get a little bit more mature, and hopefully someday I am more mature than I have been. And I hope one day things get better and are less of a battle for me. Just want somebody to see me as a good person, not somebody who bashes on somebody and disrespects them. There's going to be times that I black out when I'm angry and upset and I don't know what I said. Especially, unless it's over text, I won't remember. But if it's over FaceTime or it's over a video, I black out, and there's times I don't remember what I've said. Which is why sometimes when people say that I've talked shit on them, like, I always use that as, like, a thing. Like, I'll always tell them, like, I black out when I'm pissed, which is why sometimes when I'm pissed and angry, that's why I hit shit. And that's because I black out and I don't think before doing something. And there's times I black out and I don't think before saying something about somebody. Just know that I'm not intentionally sitting there trying to hurt you, trying to disrespect you. But I'm going to piece off of this. I've went on a rant for almost, exactly 44 minutes. I just want everybody to know that I'm okay and that I will be okay. Just hope and pray that one day things get talked out and it stays that way. But I'm going to peace out. I want to go to the store and get some food. I'm hungry, even though it's only 3:40, but I'm still hungry. I want something to eat and probably even something to snack on that isn't Cheetos, Paws, and saltine crackers and stuff like that. I want some actual snack food. I might actually also get some cookies to make some chocolate chip cookies, because I'm in a baking mood for some reason, and I'm also in the mood for some really warm chocolate chip cookies that are fresh. So, on that note, I'm going to peace out. Have a good rest of your Friday afternoon. And I will catch you guys later. Peace. Uh-oh. Sorry guys, I'm having technical difficulties right now. My phone froze during that whole chat.